Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about a very important topic. And that's the problems good women face in our society of narcissism. So why is this important? I think it's important because all of us, both men and women, frankly don't want to see the world for what it is because it's so hurtful to do so. But though it's hurtful, I believe it to be something that is needed if you want to successfully navigate this world. Even if you are a decent or good woman. And the reason for that is, this world wasn't made for you. The way it was set up and designed, it wasn't made for you at all. And it's important to dig deep into things and see this for what it is. Because it will lead you in such a way where you can not only lead your life in a way where you are a bit more safe, but on the other side of the aisle you can understand men's issues a bit better. Because you might be finding yourself in some of the same situations that men find themselves in. Here's the thing for all the good women. This system isn't set up for you to be good and decent. I want you to think about something. Over the years there have been several prominent women in the women's movement that have said it doesn't bother them at all when they see innocent men accused or convicted of crimes against women. Because it will teach them what it's like to be a victim. Now I want that to sink in for a moment. Some that are in movements to create the way we live our lives and helping design the social rules we live under don't think there's anything wrong with an innocent man being locked away for a crime against a woman he didn't commit. So I ask you, good ladies, do you think these same women, and the women that think like them, have a problem when men have their children and wealth stripped from them? That's right. More than likely they don't feel bad about that either. So you have to ask yourself, are all these laws and societal happenings all just happenstance? Or are they designed by someone with evil motives? So you're a good woman. You try not to judge others on the money they have or don't have. Just on content of character. You're trusting and kind. And giving to a fault. All the things that you can point at and say, I'm a decent person, why would anyone harm me? Then before you know it, you find yourself dealing with a narcissist man. Stealing from you. Cheating on you. And doing all the evil things that narcissists do regardless if they are a man or a woman. And then you hear men speak up about all the problems they face with women in today's society. And you stand up and say, wait a minute. That happened to me and I'm a woman. I don't know what you are talking about. And then the ugly back and forth happens. Where no real information is exchanged. Just a big poop throwing contest. When if good decent women can understand more about who they are, it might change these interactions dramatically. To the point where both men and women can make some real headway in the many issues we all face. You see, good women have been marginalized for a good long while now. You good women were standing in the way of a new way of life. A way of life that would do away with the family unit. And bring about the downfall of our society. And what was done to you good women? Was those that were creating this new way of life. Mocked and made fun of anything you did that was deemed as decent or good. Until many gave up on their decent and good ways and went the way the mainstream women were going. Now are there still good and decent women out there? Yes. There sure are. But I think they don't know how rare they really are. And this is why back and forth arguments take place when talking about men and women issues. I state again. Do you think someone that has no problem with a man getting locked up for something he didn't do, has a problem with a man losing his children and his money? Then you look at the society we all live in. Most of the divorces are done at the hands of women. And interestingly enough, abuse isn't cited, emotional or otherwise, for the main reason for these divorces. However, what is cited is dissatisfaction. Or one can translate that into simple boredom. Now are there women in this pool that do cite abuse and rightfully so escape such an abusive man? Yes. But most of these divorces occur because of simple dissatisfaction as the reason marked on the divorce forms. So what does this lead us to believe? That this system wasn't created for fairness and honesty. It wasn't created for to death do us part. Things that honest and decent women believe in. But you have to understand. There has been a campaign of driving this good way of being from the last amounts of good women that are out there. And it's done by mocking and shaming. And making fun of you. Tell the truth. What do you think the other women at your work would say? If you told them you made your boyfriend or husband's lunch every day for him? Wouldn't they quickly shame you into thinking that making lunch for someone that you love is wrong? Come on now. Think about this seriously for a moment. And these are the same female friends you might have or co-workers that will brag about how their husband did this or did that for them. And how they have him around their finger and how they are the boss at home. Happy wife, happy life. Now you have to ask yourself. If it doesn't matter, why would these women take the time to insult you and make you feel bad for doing something that makes you feel good for the person you love? Well, it matters because it doesn't fit the mold and the agenda of the world that is being pushed and has been pushed for a long time. This is a world designed to break the will of the human family and destroy it one stone and brick at a time. And as I mentioned in previous videos, like it or not, in every slave society, those that run the show do their best to weaken the men and turn the women against the men. And once that's done, the children that are produced going forward are easy for the state to control, manipulate, and indoctrinate into a completely new worldview that is created by the puppet masters. Well, sadly, good women don't fit into that worldview. Do me a favor and go to your local newsstand and go through a few of the women's magazines there, and you will see article after article where they talk about how to manipulate men to do what you want. 3 steps to get any man to marry you. 3 steps on how to cheat and not get caught. 3 steps to get what you want in a divorce. How cheating might make your relationship grow stronger. And the list goes on and on. And then what I want you to do is sit back and think. Is this information meant for you, the good woman? How is it helping you get where you want to go in life? Then be honest with yourself for a moment. This information is being pumped everywhere and on anyone that can be brainwashed by it. Then you have to ask yourself why. Then you see the fathers that want to be part of their children's lives can't be. You see men killing themselves at an alarming rate, more than likely due to child support and alimony they can't afford. Because it's a bit ironic that suicide rates are way higher for men than they are for women. And rates of those paying alimony and child support are higher for men than they are for women. All of this should make you, the good decent women, say, wait a minute. This world isn't being designed for me. This world is being designed for the woman that is a narcissist. And by being a good decent rare woman, you are finding yourself in the same situation as a good portion of men. And that's being taken for an expensive ride by a narcissist. Your narcissist, however, is a man. A man you trusted. And those that see you get screwed over sadly by the legal system, they don't care about you. Because they see it as your fault for not playing the game. 3 steps to get any man to do whatever you want. You have to open your eyes and see this for what it is. Think about it. Births in the Western world are at an all-time low. And the reason why is more and more men are scared to death to marry and scared to death to have children because they know the system is completely against them. It's not just a bad system. It's a system that is against them and that appears to actively strip them bare of everything they have. So you have good men hiding. So who does that leave for you? That's right. The narcissist wolf man, looking to prey on your nice and decent nature. Along with lack of boundaries like many of us narcissistic abuse victims have struggled with. Makes you more likely to fall prey to such a man. So what is the answer to all of this? What do you do once you start to understand and realize all of this? You speak out. Regardless if you do it anonymously or not. But you need to speak out. Dr. Helen Smith, who has written some books on the subject, was interviewed on a popular show. And they tried to undermine her work in a covert way. And they asked, "Why are you speaking out about this? Why isn't a man And you could hear the frustration in her voice as she said. Because a man can't speak out about this without being told to man up and is mocked. And even her being a woman, she's mocked to a degree. But since they were on television, they were a bit nicer to her. You see, the problem is, when good women hear men talking about the ills in our society regarding men and women relationships, I think there are some good women that don't want to see how bad things really are, and the truth about the reality we are all living in. So it turns into a big discussion of, I'm not like that, or I was abused too, instead of, you know what, I was abused too. I know what it feels like. It's wrong. And I feel like this world is going down the tubes because they are trying to destroy the wills of good men and good women. Look. If we could have more information available regarding narcissism and narcissistic abuse available, and laws were changed that made child rearing more fair, and getting child support was more of a difficult thing, and alimony was done away with completely, you would start to see people be more honest and who they want to be with long term. Yes. Would there still be narcissists out there roaming around looking to see who they can trap? Yes. But it would sure be a lot easier to get away from them. The problem is, narcissism and narcissistic people are getting more and more common with each generation of people that is born on this earth. And it's because those that have light in them, and decency in them, and yes, those that have beliefs in them won't stand up and speak the truth. There are some women on YouTube speaking this truth, but not enough. My heart breaks for the good women out there that find themselves in the same traps as us men. But they have something many of us don't have. A voice to stand up to the evil women in our society and the ability to fight back with words, with evidence, and with a demand for change. If all people that had an ounce of decency worked hard for a change, we might get somewhere. But until that happens, we will be stuck with back and forth talking about how I'm not like that, and in a big stalemate of disagreement. Good women, you are there. But you must know they are trying to breed you out. Just like they are trying to breed out strong men. And the sad part is they are succeeding. So are we, both men and women, going to do nothing? Or are we going to work together to make a better world? Because this world, please understand this point, this world that is being created isn't meant for the good and decent woman to thrive and do well, sadly. And when you have a life problem as a result, the women that are on the other side of you won't lend you a helping hand. To the contrary, they will provide you with more reasons why you should start using the system for your benefit to get what you want. But like the good book says, for what profits a man if he gains the whole world but loses his own soul? And I'm pretty sure this message was meant for mankind when the word man was used. So that applies to us all. Either we stand up for something better, both good man and good woman, or we let evil take over. Which is not only a problem for good men, but a problem for good decent women as well. Something to think about. Well, that's all I have for now. I hope everyone had a blessed day. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. If you have already, I thank you very much. Don't forget to click the little bell to be notified each and every time I make a new video. And if you are so inclined to do so, you can support this content further by the way of Patreon. With that said, let's continue to pray for wisdom. Let's continue to pray for strength. And let's continue to pray for courage. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.